Hey folks, hope you're doing good today. Now we got some cool bands on the channel today. And now this first band, they made a priority submission last week. It's the first time that we're on the show as well. Just a day after doing that, they actually made another priority submission to be back on again. And that gives me a good feeling inside because it tells me they not only enjoyed being on the show, but they saw value in being in the show and are happy to dip in their pocket to be on it again. So dope. Thank you very much. Now, unfortunately, I got their name wrong last time. I thought it was pronounced Antigone, which I do think is actually a cool name, but it's not. It's apparently a Greek word, and it's the way you say it is Antigone. So there you go. Now this is a track that they've remixed, remastered, and got new vocals for 2021. The track's called Burn the Memory. Now we really enjoyed this band last week, but we realised they got a lot going on in their music. Thought it was just going to be some alt rocky stuff, but no, it's got heavy metal, metalcore elements, chuggy stuff, heavy stuff in there as well. So the bands that I've lined up today are a mixture of all those things going on. Very, very cool. So let's check it out and enjoy this one. Yeah. Chunky. Yeah. It's great. Old rocky, progressive rocky vocal. Sounds great. It's got a lot going on, heaviness and rockiness at the same time. Very cool. Lots of mix-up on the drums and different energies through the music. Cool drumming. Yeah.
Fly
Very cool. Now, these are quite an interesting band to me now that we've listened to them a bit more and got a bit more of an idea of what they're about. Because we haven't really had another band quite like this makeup and genre splicing before. And we've had a lot of genre splicing now on this channel. But these guys, they're a really cool mix of metalcore, modern metalcore, chunky, chuggy breakdown type stuff, but also alt-rocky, grungy, progressive rocky type stuff as well, in the melodic side of things. Now, I wouldn't call this melodic metalcore, because melodic metalcore is a different, the melodic side of melodic metalcore is different to the alt-rocky side that this stuff has got going on to bring in its melody. So I wouldn't call it melodic metalcore, although, I mean, you could get away with that. But no, this is definitely a kind of 50-50 split of alt-rock and progressive alt-rock, and that modern metalcore chuggy stuff as well. And they blend seamlessly between the two. It doesn't feel jarring to go from one to the other. And the alt-rocky edge definitely brings in a different type of melodic vibe and kind of, vibe to the music than a typical kind of melodic metalcore one where they open it out wide and things like that. It's a different way of approaching the melodic side of things. So it's very, very cool. We haven't had that on the channel before. And I think it works really, really nicely because I like the alt-rock melody side of things and the way they put the reverb on the vocals. I think it sounds very good. But it works nicely as well with some chuggy riffs and some heavier stuff and then pushing the vocal to a scream and a shout. Yeah. It's a great job. And the mix is super nice and everything as well. They mixed that nicely and remastered it nicely. You can hear all the members of the band, great bass tone sliding about in there. And I always love it where any band that breaks down and goes boom on the bass. Just sounds dope. So yeah, little cool things like that and mix-ups on the drums, interesting fills and moving about the energy on the drum kit makes this band very interesting to me, and I like what they've got going on. So keep making submissions if you like. If you've got more videos, no problem, I'm happy to check them out. Now, this next band, they've got modern metalcore from Poland on their video. We love checking out Polish bands on this channel. We've checked out a ton of Polish bands now. They've all been super duper quality. Love what they've got going on over there. This band is called Mentally Blind. The track is called Traces with an official vid. So let's enjoy these guys. Good atmosphere. Here we go. Nice big sound. Wow, a lot going on. Super loud, super punchy mix as well. Man, these guys have got a big sound. Super nice. There's so much going on in these modern bands nowadays to just call them one genre. I mean, these guys call them modern metalcore, which I guess is the best thing to call this kind of band. But man, it's just got so much going on in the band, so much to listen to. These guys had great riffiness on the guitars as well, that progressive riffy edge, great drumming, cool vocals. Now, I would say that in terms of the melodic stuff, this was more melodic, what you would call melodic metalcore, and it shows you the difference from the first band where that was more alt rock, and then these guys, you know, showing us the melodic metalcore, and it is a different type of vocal, a different type of melody, and a way to approach the melody in that way. But these guys sounded great. Now these guys mix was absolutely cranked to the max, and I just want to have a quick look to see if it says if they've mixed it themselves or not. Aurora Studio, mixed and mastered by Roman. Now, I respect Roman that he's obviously loves to crank as much volume and loudness as he can out of his mix, and that's my philosophy as well, so I'm not knocking him for that. But I think for this specific type of music, that this mix was pushed a little bit too hard. It was so loud and so kind of maxed out that it actually, I feel that it lost us a bit of its clarity that goes nicely with this kind of music. And I think it was a case of that it was just cranked and limited a bit too hard, and if he just rolled it back a bit on the limiting, that it would have retained more of its clarity, particularly in the guitars. And I think they were just a bit too loud in this mix. Now, you won't hear me say that very often. You'll never hear me say that on the grindcore days or something like that, because I don't believe you can push a mix too hard with that. We've had literally, you know, 0 LUF tracks on there where you can't go any louder and they still sound great. But I think with this kind of music, with the melodic edge to it, and that great guitaring and riffiness in this one, you don't need to go too mental with the loudness. Pulling it back and having a bit of headroom and a bit of clarity, and not letting it kind of get distorted from just pushing it so hard, retains a nice edge to this kind of music, which you're not going to get by pushing it too hard. So yeah, I would say Roman, with this kind of music, I respect going hard, but you know, don't go too hard on this stuff, because we still want to have that nice clarity edge. Now, I thought it sounded great as well when they broke it down on this stuff to those more atmospheric sides, and that did have a nice clarity to it. But when it was all blazing and we had all the guitar riffing and the vocals and the drumming and it all going off, it was just a bit too loud. Great track. Now we're going to finish off with this last band. This is Emniti. Their track is called Done. This is a lyric video from January. So let's finish off with these guys. Very cool day on the channel. Whole mixture of stuff going on. Got some fat chunky mixes today though, Jesus, punchy. Great washy cymbals. Love the passion in the vocal there. Nice fatness to this one. You can get right in the balance with it, the drums.
Every time I close my
Loved it. Super nice. Man, what a great sound. Thick and chunky, great big washy cymbals and punchy drums, great beats in there as well. You're just nodding away with it. Really nice passion in the vocal and building it up from spoken word to shouting and screaming. Yes, made the choruses pop even harder. Great bass tone in there as well. Along with the guitars and the thickness on the guitar, just sounded great. Really filled out the sound. Just a thick track, dense sound. Man, very, very nice. Nice post-hardcore edge in this one as well. And I do think these guys, let me just check. I think they said they're alternative nu metal from Leipzig. So that's the first alternative nu metal band I think we could say we've had on the channel as well. But today I set these bands up because I just knew that this new modern metalcore with a melodic edge is a whole mixture of stuff going on. There's a gentiness in there as well. We've got those big chuggy breakdowns. You got the heavy vocals. You got the melodic vocals as well. Great guitaring in the bands today and riffiness and stuff going on like that. So man, these guys bring a lot to the table, and it all sounds nice and fresh because the mixes are fresh, pumped up, even a bit too loud sometimes. But man, I'd rather have that than a kind of an old school mix where nowadays they just sound way too kind of safe and pulled back. I like to be kicked around the ears by the sound, and I'd prefer that to kind of having to turn it up and stuff like that, you know. But yeah, sometimes it depends on the style of music. You can just push the mix too hard. Everyone wants a nice, loud, wide mix because it just sounds great, and it comes with the power that you want to get from this kind of music. But sometimes when you just push it that bit too much over the edge, it loses its clarity, and this is particularly a type of music within the mix, I'd say, where you want to retain some clarity in the vocal, in the guitars, so when you're doing the more melodic edge of stuff, it's still got a nice sharp, clean edge to it, and it's not all just distorted and stuff like that. I think it suits the music well, and you have to tailor your mix to suit the kind of music. You can't just approach every mix in the same way and say, well, I just want to crank it as loud and as wide and stupid as it will go. That works for some styles of music, say grindcore and whatever. You can get away with that all day long, but on the more melodic stuff and the stuff with more of a kind of cleaner edge to it, you do need to retain that clarity. So there you go. That's just a little mixing tip. Super dope day. Modern bands with a whole bunch of stuff going on. I've enjoyed all of them. We'll get them all back on the show again. And if they want to keep making submissions as well, all the better. We love doing that as well. We'll see you around, guys. Hope you have a good day. Bye.